The manila envelope fell from my trembling hands, its contents scattering across my office floor like autumn leaves. Bank statements, transfer records, and a single damning photograph. My husband Elliot kissing my sister Stella against his desk. I'd suspected the affair for weeks, but seeing it in high-resolution color made my stomach lurch. I'm Scarlett, and until 10 minutes ago, I thought I had it all. A thriving business consultancy, a loving family, and what I believed was a rock-solid marriage. Funny how quickly certainties can crumble. Mrs. Gill? My assistant's voice crackled through the intercom. Your husband's here for lunch. Perfect timing. I gathered the evidence, tucking it into my designer tote. Send him in, Marie. Elliot strode in, all confidence and expensive cologne. Hey, beautiful. He leaned in for a kiss, but I turned my cheek. Everything okay? How's Stella? I watched his face carefully. I haven't seen her lately. The lie rolled off his tongue so smoothly, I wondered how many others had preceded it. I slapped the photograph on my desk. Interesting, because this was taken yesterday. His facade cracked. Scarlett, I can explain. Save it. My voice was steadier than I felt. I trusted you, both of you. It's not what you think. Really? Because what I think is that my husband and sister are having an affair. What I think is that you've been funneling money from my trust fund into your business ventures without my knowledge. His expression shifted from guilt to calculation. Who told you about the money? That's what concerns you? Not that I caught you cheating? The business arrangements are complicated. They're fraud, Elliot. Plain and simple. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Coming over. Need to talk. I called my parents, I said, watching him pale. They should be here any minute. Right on cue, my office door opened. Mom and Dad rushed in, but something was off. Instead of comforting me, they flanked Elliot. Sweetheart, Mom began, her voice honey-sweet with manipulation. Let's not be hasty. Hasty? He's sleeping with Stella. Marriage is complicated, Dad interjected. Elliot's been doing wonderful things with the family investments. I laughed, a harsh sound that surprised even me. Family investments? You mean my trust fund? The money's being put to good use, Elliot insisted. Your whole family benefits. My whole family? The pieces clicked into place. You're all in on this. Mom stepped forward. Darling, you've always been so independent. We just wanted to ensure the family's financial security. By stealing from me? By letting my husband sleep with my sister? Stella understands family loyalty, Dad said quietly. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. Get out, all of you. Scarlett! Elliot reached for me. Out! They left, but not before Mom's parting shot. Don't do anything rash, dear. Think of the family. I sank into my chair, my world spinning. A notification popped up on my computer. An email from my investment manager about another large transfer request from Elliot. With shaking fingers, I dialed a number. Delgado Legal Services. Javier, it's Scarlett. I need your help. What's wrong? Everything. I took a deep breath. How quickly can you freeze a trust fund? Depends on the circumstances. How about fraud, embezzlement, and a family conspiracy? A pause. Come to my office, now. I grabbed my bag, the damning documents safely inside. As I headed for the elevator, another text arrived, from Stella this time. He loves me, he always has. Don't make this difficult. I deleted it without responding. They wanted to play family? Fine. But they were about to learn that karma has a way of coming full circle. In the parking garage, I caught my reflection in my car window. The woman staring back wasn't the trusting fool who'd walked into her office this morning. Her eyes were harder, her jaw set with determination. My phone buzzed again. Elliot. We need to talk about this rationally, his message read. Come home. We can work it out. I typed back 4 words. I'm just getting started. The engine purred to life, and I pulled out into the sunlight. They thought they knew me. Dutiful daughter, devoted wife, pushover sister. They had no idea what I was capable of. As I merged into traffic, heading toward Javier's office, one thought crystallized in my mind. Revenge wouldn't just be sweet, it would be justice. Javier's office felt like a sanctuary, all mahogany and leather, far removed from the chaos of my life. He studied the documents spread across his desk, his expression darkening with each page. "This is serious, Scarlett. We're looking at systematic fraud." He tapped the bank statements. "These transfers weren't just occasional dips into your trust fund. They were calculated." "How much?" "Nearly 40% of your assets." He leaned back. "But what's more concerning is this." He slid forward a document I hadn't seen before. "Your parents amended their roles as trust co-managers 6 months ago. They gave Elliot significant control." My coffee turned bitter in my mouth. "Without my knowledge?" "Technically legal, given the trust structure, but highly unethical." A knock interrupted us. Javier's secretary poked her head in. "Mr. and Mrs. Gill are here to see their daughter." "Perfect timing," I muttered. "Send them in." Mom swept in wearing her concerned parent face, Dad trailing behind. "Darling, what are you doing?" "Getting answers." I gestured to the papers. "Want to explain why you gave Elliot control of my trust?" "He's family," Dad said, as if that explained everything. "And Stella? Is that why you're okay with them sleeping together? Because he's family?" Mom perched on the edge of a chair. "Sometimes marriages need adjustments." "Adjustments?" I stood so quickly, my chair rolled backward. "You're justifying my husband sleeping with my sister?" "Your sister understands sacrifice," Dad said. "Elliot's businesses support us all." "His failing businesses," Javier interjected, holding up financial reports. "Which he's been propping up with Ms. Gill's money." Mom's facade cracked. "We had no choice. Your father's investments tanked last year. Elliot promised he could fix everything." "Ha, if you just gave him access to my money?" I laughed bitterly. "How convenient. We're trying to protect the family fortune." "My fortune," I corrected. "Not yours. Not Elliot's. And certainly not Stella's." Dad stepped forward. "Be reasonable, Scarlett. Think about—" "The family?" I cut him off. "That's what this is about, right? The family name? The family reputation? Well, guess what? I'm done protecting either." "You wouldn't dare cause a scandal," Mom hissed. "Try me." I turned to Javier. "What are my options?" He straightened his papers. "As your lawyer, I advise immediate action to freeze the trust and audit all transactions from the past year." "You can't!" Dad's face reddened. "Elliot has deals pending." "Deals made with stolen money," I said. "My money." Mom stood, switching tactics. "Sweetheart, we can work this out privately, as a family." "Family?" I walked to the window, watching the city below. "You know what's funny? When I found out about Elliot and Stella, I ran to you first, my parents. I expected comfort, support, anger on my behalf. Instead, I got conspirators." "We did what was necessary." "No." I turned back. "You did what was easy. You saw dollar signs and chose greed over your daughter's happiness." "That's not fair." "Fair!" I slammed my hand on Javier's desk. "Was it fair when you watched Elliot destroy my marriage? Was it fair when you helped him steal my money? Was it fair when you chose Stella over me because she was willing to play your game?" Silence fell. Even Javier looked uncomfortable. "Get out," I said quietly. "Both of you." "Scarlett!" "Out!" They left, Mom's heels clicking angrily on the hardwood floor. As the door closed, I collapsed into my chair. "Well," Javier said, "that was intense. What's my next move?" He pulled out a fresh legal pad. "First, we freeze everything. Then we go after them. All of them. But Scarlett?" He waited until I met his eyes. "This will get ugly." "It already is." I pulled out my phone, showing him the text from Elliot. "Your parents told me what you're planning. Don't force my hand." "Threats now?" Javier frowned. "That's good for us. Save everything." I started typing a response, then stopped. "No. Let them sweat." "Smart." He began writing. We'll need to move fast. They'll try to transfer more money once they realize you're serious. My phone buzzed again. Stella. You're being selfish. The family needs this money. Elliot needs me. I showed Javier, who whistled low. Your sister's piece of work. She always wanted what was mine. I stood, gathering my resolve with my belongings. Time she learned she can't have it all. Where are you going? To see my investment manager. Then to empty my house before Elliot gets home. I paused at the door. They wanted to play family? Fine. But they're about to learn that this daughter, this sister, this wife, she plays to win. The investment firm's conference room felt colder than usual as Marcus, my financial advisor, pulled up transaction after transaction on the screen. It's worse than we thought, he said, clicking through spreadsheets. Elliot didn't just take money. He created an entire shadow network of companies. Show me. He pointed to a complex web of transfers. See these shell corporations? They're all connected to your trust fund. Money goes in, gets laundered through various investments, then ends up in Elliot's main business accounts. Or my parents' accounts, I added, recognizing familiar numbers. Exactly. Marcus leaned back. Your family's been living off your trust fund for months. Even Stella's new boutique, funded by you. My coffee cup cracked in my grip. She told everyone she built that business herself. With your money. He pulled up another document. There's more. Remember that charity gala your mother chairs? Don't tell me. Funded by your trust, along with their country club memberships, your father's golf resort investments, even Stella's luxury condo. A knock interrupted us. Javier entered, looking grim. We have a problem. Elliot's trying to transfer $5 million to an offshore account. Can he do that? Not anymore. Javier smiled. Judge Harrison signed the emergency freeze order 10 minutes ago. Elliot's probably discovering that right now. As if on cue, my phone exploded with notifications. Messages from Elliot, Mom, Dad, Stella, all demanding explanations. Don't respond, Javier advised. Let them panic. Marcus cleared his throat. There's something else you should see. He pulled up security footage from Elliot's office building. This was recorded yesterday. The grainy video showed my family, all of them, gathered in Elliot's office. Even from the poor quality, their agitation was clear. Can we get audio? I asked. Marcus typed something, and suddenly voices filled the room. She's getting suspicious. Elliot's voice crackled. We need to move faster. The divorce papers are ready, Dad said. Once she signs... She'll never sign, Stella interrupted. Not without checking everything. Then we'll make her sign. Mom's voice was cold. Everyone knows she's been unstable lately. A few well-placed concerns about her mental health. You were going to have me committed. My voice shook. That's attempted fraud, coercion, and conspiracy, Javier said quietly. We can use this. My phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. I answered on speaker. Scarlett? A woman's voice. This is Francesca Wilcox. We met at last year's Women in Business conference. I remember. I heard what happened. My ex-husband pulled similar stunts with my company assets. I might have some information that could help. I glanced at Javier, who nodded. I'm listening. Not over the phone. Can we meet? There's a cafe on 12th Street, the Daily Grind. 1 hour? Perfect. After hanging up, Javier touched my arm. Be careful. Your family might try something desperate. Let them. I gathered my things. I'm done being their victim. The Daily Grind was quiet when I arrived. Francesca sat in a corner booth, elegant and sharp-eyed. She stood as I approached. Thank you for coming. She gestured to a manila envelope on the table. This might interest you. Inside were photos. Elliot meeting with known fraudsters. Dad accepting envelopes in parking garages. Stella entering high-end hotels with different men. Your sister's been busy, Francesca commented, not just with Elliot. How did you get these? I run a private investigation firm specializing in financial fraud. After what happened to me, I made it my mission to help other women fight back. She leaned forward. And Scarlett, you're not alone. There are more of us than you think. What do you mean? Women betrayed by family, husbands, business partners. We've created a network. We help each other rebuild, reinvest, recover. She slid across a business card. And sometimes we help each other get even. My phone buzzed. A text from Elliot. You've made a huge mistake. The board meeting's tomorrow. Without access to funds, everything collapses. I showed Francesca, who smiled. Perfect. Let it collapse. Then we'll build something better from the ashes. We? If you're interested. She stood. Think about it. Call me when you're ready to not just get revenge, but to transform it into something powerful. As she left, another text came through, from Stella. You're ruining everything. Mom's crying, Dad's furious, and Elliot, he needs me now more than ever. I typed back, enjoy him. You deserve each other. Then I called Javier. How quickly can we liquidate my assets? Why? I watched Francesca's card catch the light. Because I'm done playing defense. It's time to build something new. Something new? I smiled, feeling truly powerful for the first time in days. Something they'll never see coming. Francesca's office buzzed with energy as women moved purposefully between sleek workstations. Each desk displayed a small placard. Financial recovery specialist, legal advocate, investment advisor. Welcome to Phoenix Rising, Francesca said, leading me through. We help women rebuild after betrayal. How many? Last year, over 300 cases. She opened a conference room door. And counting. Inside, a woman stood at a whiteboard covered in financial diagrams. She turned, extending her hand. Ingrid Chavez, former CFO of West Coast Technologies, until my husband and brother-in-law orchestrated my removal. Now she's our head of operations, Francesca added, and living proof that revenge is best served profitable. My phone buzzed. Elliot again. The board's furious. Everything's falling apart. Please, we need to talk. Ignore him, Ingrid advised. Let's talk strategy instead. She pulled up a presentation. Your trust fund isn't just money, it's leverage. We can help you transform it into something they can't touch. I'm listening. First, Francesca interjected, you need to see this. She played a video on her laptop. It showed Elliot entering a hotel, checking his surroundings nervously. Minutes later, Stella arrived, but the shocking part came next, my parents following shortly after. This was yesterday, Francesca explained. They're planning something. A knock interrupted us. Javier entered, waving a document. Got it. Emergency court order, giving Scarlett full control of the trust. Your parents' co-manager status is officially revoked. My phone immediately lit up with Mom's call. I answered on speaker. What have you done? She demanded. Protected my assets, like you taught me. We're your family. No, you're thieves who happen to share my DNA. Your father's having chest pains because of this. Really? The guilt trip? I laughed. Try harder. Elliot's board meeting. Isn't my problem anymore. I hung up as another message came through. From an unknown number, a video link. I clicked it. The footage showed Elliot and my family in his office, shot just hours ago. She's ruined everything! Elliot shouted, throwing papers. The investors are pulling out. Calm down, Dad urged. We can fix this. How? She's frozen everything! Stella wrapped her arms around Elliot. We'll figure something out, baby. Maybe, Mom said slowly, if we can prove she's unstable, mentally unfit. Already tried that, Dad snapped. Judge wouldn't buy it. Then we'll try something else, Elliot declared. Everyone has a weakness. I stopped the video, my hands shaking. They're desperate, Ingrid observed. Perfect time to strike. How? Francesca smiled. Remember those shell companies Elliot created? Let's use them. She outlined the plan. A complex but brilliant strategy involving asset redistribution and strategic investments. By the time we're done, Ingrid added, Your money will be powering a network of women-owned businesses. Legitimate, profitable, and completely out of their reach. My phone buzzed again. Stella. Mom's in the hospital. Stress attack. Hope you're happy. I showed the others, who exchanged knowing looks. Classic manipulation, Ingrid said. My family tried the same tactics. What did you do? Built something bigger than their pettiness. She gestured around. This organization helps women reclaim their power. Want to be part of it? Before I could answer, Javier's phone rang. His expression darkened as he listened. Elliot's called an emergency board meeting, he reported. Tomorrow morning. He's telling investors he can fix everything. Perfect timing, Francesca said, because tomorrow afternoon, Phoenix Rising announces its newest venture. Which is? A women's investment collective, funded by you, dedicated to supporting survivors of financial abuse and betrayal. They'll hate it, I realized, smiling. They'll hate the press coverage more, Ingrid added. We've already lined up interviews. My phone lit up with another message. Dad. Whatever you're planning, stop. You're destroying this family. I typed back. No, Dad. I'm building something new from the family you destroyed. Then I turned to Francesca. I'm in. Where do we start? She slid across incorporation papers. Right here. Ready to make them regret ever underestimating you? As I signed, another text came through, from Elliot. Please come home. We can work this out. I love you. I showed it to the others, who burst out laughing. Men! Ingrid scoffed. They only remember love when their bank accounts run dry. Speaking of which, Francesca said, checking her watch, Elliot's company stock should be tanking right about now. We watched the financial ticker on her screen. The numbers plummeted. Perfect, I said, feeling lighter than I had in weeks. Let's build something beautiful from their mess. The press conference room buzzed with anticipation. Cameras flashed as I took my place at the podium, Francesca and Ingrid flanking me like guardian angels. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, today marks the launch of Phoenix Rising Investment Group, dedicated to empowering women who've survived financial abuse and betrayal. Movement at the back caught my eye. Elliot slipping in, followed by my parents and Stella. Perfect. Our first initiative, I continued, will provide funding and support to women whose families and spouses have attempted to strip them of their financial autonomy. A reporter raised her hand. Ms. Gill, is this connected to the recent freeze of your family's assets? Absolutely. I smiled directly at my family. In fact, my own experience inspired this venture. When I discovered my husband and sister's affair, along with their systematic theft of my trust fund, I realized I wasn't alone. Gasps rippled through the room. Elliot's face turned purple. We've already identified hundreds of similar cases, Francesca added, stepping forward. Women whose trusted family members conspired to steal their inheritances, businesses, and futures. Another reporter. Mr. Gill, would you care to comment? Elliot started forward, but security blocked his path. I continued. Our first round of funding will support 50 women-owned businesses using assets recovered from fraudulent transactions. You can't do this, Stella shouted from the back. Actually, I can. I held up a document. This court order grants me full control of my trust fund, which I'm choosing to invest in survivors rather than thieves. Mom collapsed into a chair, fanning herself dramatically. Dad rushed to her side, shooting me murderous looks. Furthermore, Ingrid announced, we're establishing a legal defense fund for women fighting financial abuse. Our team of attorneys will provide pro bono support. A commotion erupted as Elliot pushed past security. This is slander! I'll sue! Please do, Javier called from the side. We have excellent documentation of your fraud. Reporters whirled, cameras flashing at the unfolding drama. Scarlett! Elliot pleaded, reaching the podium. Don't do this. Think about our future. I am. I stepped back. Security? As they led him away, I heard Stella's sharp intake of breath. She'd finally noticed the presentation screen behind me, surveillance photos of her entering hotels with various men, including timestamps overlapping her encounters with Elliot. In addition to financial support, I continued smoothly, Phoenix Rising offers counseling services for women betrayed by family members, because sometimes the deepest wounds come from those closest to us. Mom suddenly stood, swaying theatrically. My daughter, she's always been troubled, mentally unstable. Really, Mom? I pulled out my phone, playing the recording of her plotting to have me committed. The room fell silent as her voice filled the space. A few well-placed concerns about her mental health. Dad grabbed her arm, pulling her toward the exit. Stella remained, tears streaming down her face. Any other questions? Francesca asked the stunned reporters. Hands shot up everywhere. As we fielded questions, my phone buzzed with a message from Ingrid's team. Elliot's company stock down 70%. Board meeting in chaos. Another reporter. Ms. Gill, what would you say to other women in similar situations? Trust your instincts, I replied, watching Stella flee the room. And remember, your worth isn't determined by those who betrayed you. After the conference, we gathered in Francesca's office. Javier arrived with updates. Elliot's board voted him out, he reported. Your parents' country club membership's been revoked. Apparently, they couldn't make payments. And Stella's boutique? Landlord's changing the locks tomorrow. How are the applications looking? I asked Ingrid. Overwhelming response. Women everywhere connecting with our mission. She pulled up a spreadsheet. We've already identified 10 cases almost identical to yours. My phone lit up. Dad. You've destroyed everything we built. I typed back. No, I've exposed everything you stole. Francesca poured champagne. To Phoenix Rising. And to Karma, Ingrid added. Another message dinged. Stella. I'm sorry, I never meant. Can we talk? Your sister? Francesca asked, noting my expression. Trying to save herself now that Elliot's broke. I deleted the message without responding. Speaking of Elliot, Javier said, checking his phone. His lawyer's requesting a meeting. No need, I replied. Everything I have to say to them will be said in court. The sun was setting as we finalized plans for tomorrow's initiatives. My phone had finally fallen silent. They'd run out of manipulation tactics. Ready for phase 2? Francesca asked. I looked at the growing list of women reaching out for help, each story echoing my own pain, each survivor ready to rise. More than ready, I answered. Let's show them what Phoenix Fire really feels like. The country club's dining room crackled with tension as I watched my family through the window. They huddled at their usual corner table, now occupied for the last time. Mom dabbed her eyes with a monogrammed napkin while Dad argued with a manager. Ready? Francesca asked beside me. Let's crash their pity party. We strode in just as the manager walked away. Mom spotted us first, her face hardening. Come to gloat? Stella spat. Actually, I'm here to buy the club. I sat uninvited at their table. The board was quite receptive when Phoenix Rising offered to take over their defaulted loans. Dad's coffee cup clattered against its saucer. You what? Effective tomorrow, this becomes our corporate headquarters. Francesca spread blueprints across the table. The golf course will be converted into affordable housing for abuse survivors. You can't, Mom gasped. This club is our legacy. Was your legacy, I corrected. Just like the beach house you had to sell last week. And Dad's precious boat. Elliot stormed in, looking disheveled. The board meeting was a disaster. They're filing for bankruptcy. I know. I checked my watch. The announcement goes public in about 3 minutes. You planned this, Stella whispered. Like you planned to seduce my husband? I turned to Elliot. Or how you planned to steal my trust fund. We had no choice, Dad insisted. The family needed. Save it. I held up my phone, displaying their account balances. You're broke, all of you. How does it feel? Mom reached for me. Darling, please, we can fix this. Like you tried to fix me? By having me committed? That was Elliot's idea, Stella blurted. Shut up, Elliot hissed. No, you shut up! Stella's mascara ran as she cracked. You promised we'd be together, that once Scarlett was gone, we'd have everything. Well, this is interesting, Francesca murmured, recording on her phone. You used me, Stella continued, hysteria rising. Both of you! She pointed at our parents. You knew he was playing me, but you didn't care as long as you got her money. Stella, enough! Dad slammed his fist down. The truth hurts, doesn't it? I stood. By the way, Stella, your boutique's new owner takes possession today. Phoenix Rising will be converting it into a women's career center. You're enjoying this, Mom accused. Honestly? Yes, I signaled to the waiting manager. Oh, and it's time for you to leave. Your memberships are officially revoked. You can't throw us out, Dad blustered. Do you know how long we've— Actually, she can. The manager stepped forward. Security's waiting to escort you out. As they gathered their things, Elliot made one last attempt. Scarlett, please, I'll do anything. Anything? I smiled coldly. Then sign these. I slid divorce papers across the table. Full disclosure of all fraud included. Sign now or face criminal charges. His hand shook as he signed, not even reading the terms. You too, Dad. I produced more documents. Confession of your role in the conspiracy? Robert, don't. Mom grabbed his arm. He doesn't have a choice. Francesca pointed to the entrance, where 2 FBI agents waited. Fraud across state lines is a federal crime. Dad signed, his face ashen. Now get out! I watched as security approached. All of you. This isn't over, Mom threatened. Actually, it is. I checked my phone again. Elliot's company stock just hit 0. Dad's golf resort investments are worthless. And those offshore accounts you thought were hidden? Frozen. They were escorted out, Stella crying, Mom threatening, Dad silent with shock, Elliot begging until the doors closed behind them. Well, Francesca said, that was satisfying. My phone buzzed. Ingrid. News just broke about Elliot's company. Stock market's going crazy. You're trending on Twitter. Another message popped up, from an unknown number. Saw the news? My husband did the same thing. Can Phoenix Rising help? Then another. My sister stole my inheritance. Do you take cases like mine? And another. Watching you take down your family gives me hope. They're pouring in, Francesca noted, checking her own phone. Women everywhere connecting with your story. Through the window, I watched my family huddle in the parking lot, their world collapsing. Stella tried to hold Elliot's hand, but he shoved her away, storming off to his car, which would be repossessed tomorrow. Ready for the next phase? Francesca asked. I looked at the messages flooding my phone. Women reaching out, sharing stories, seeking hope. My family had tried to break me, but instead, they'd helped me build something powerful. Absolutely, I replied. Let's help them all rise from the ashes. As we left, Mom's final text came through. You'll regret destroying this family. I typed back. No, Mom, I regret not doing it sooner. The courtroom fell silent as Elliot took the stand. 3 months had passed since the country club confrontation, and he looked like a different man. Expensive suit replaced by off-the-rack, designer watch gone, dark circles under his eyes. Please state your name, the prosecutor began. Elliot James Gill. And can you explain your relationship with Phoenix Rising's assets? He glanced at me, then at his lawyer, who nodded resignedly. And I misappropriated funds from my wife's trust fund to support failing business ventures. How much? Approximately $28 million. Gasps filled the courtroom. In the gallery, Mom clutched her pearls, probably fake now, while Dad stared at his shoes. And who helped you perpetrate this fraud? Elliot's voice cracked. Robert and Sylvia Gill, my in-laws, and Stella Gill, my sister-in-law. Stella, sitting alone in the back, began to cry. Your Honor, Elliot's lawyer interrupted, my client has cooperated fully. Your client cooperated only after getting caught, the the prosecutor countered. The systematic nature of this fraud, the conspiracy to have Ms. Gill declared mentally unfit. That wasn't my idea, Elliot protested. No? I stood, pulling out my phone. Should we play the recordings again? He slumped in defeat. The judge cleared his throat. Given the evidence and Mr. Gill's confession, this court finds the defendant guilty of all charges. Elliot's sentence came down hard. 8 years, no possibility of early parole. Dad got 5 years, Mom got 3 years probation, and Stella, well, she'd turned state's evidence at the last minute, earning immunity but destroying what remained of our family's reputation. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Ms. Gill, how does it feel to see justice served? This isn't about justice, I replied. It's about accountability and protecting other women from similar betrayals. Francesca stepped forward. Phoenix Rising has already helped 37 women recover stolen assets totaling over $100 million. And we're just getting started, Ingrid added. A commotion erupted as they led Elliot out in handcuffs. Scarlett, please, I'll do anything. You already did everything, I called back. That's why you're going to prison. Mom pushed through the crowd. You've destroyed our family name. No, Mom, you did that when you chose greed over your daughter. I was protecting our legacy. Your legacy? I laughed. Look around. Your house is gone. Your clubs are gone. Your reputation is gone. That's your legacy now. Dad shuffled past in custody, not meeting my eyes. Stella tried to approach, but Francesca blocked her path. Please, Stella begged. I'm your sister. You stopped being my sister the moment you chose Elliot over me. I loved him. No. I turned away. You loved what he represented. Access to my money. My phone buzzed. A message from Ingrid. Turn on the news. Now. A nearby television showed breaking news. Major investment firm announces partnership with Phoenix Rising, pledging $100 million to support victims of financial abuse. Mom staggered, grabbing a railing for support. That was supposed to be our money. It was never your money. I showed her my phone. Photos of Phoenix Rising's new headquarters. The former country club transformed into a haven for survivors. This is what real legacy looks like. Another reporter approached. Ms. Gill, what's next for Phoenix Rising? We're expanding nationwide, Francesca answered. Opening offices in every major city. Starting with Dad's former golf resort, I added, watching his face fall as officers led him away. Stella made one last attempt. What about me? Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem. I turned to the cameras. But for any woman watching who's being manipulated by family, who's seeing her assets drained by those she trusted, reach out. Phoenix Rising is here. Later, in our new offices, Ingrid brought champagne. To justice served. And karma delivered, Francesca added. My phone lit up with messages from women worldwide, sharing stories, seeking help, offering support. Each one a reminder that from betrayal could come purpose. Ms. Gill? My assistant entered. There's someone here to see you. Says she's your mother's best friend? Margaret swept in, elegant as always. Scarlett, darling, I left your mother's circle the moment I learned what they did. And she pulled out a folder. I have documentation of similar schemes they've pulled before. Other families, other victims. Perfect timing, Francesca said. We're building a class action lawsuit. My phone buzzed one last time. Elliot from prison. I never meant to hurt you. I typed back. But you did. Now watch me help every woman you would have hurt next. Then I turned to Margaret. Let's get to work. There are more phoenixes waiting to rise. The prison visiting room buzzed with muted conversations as I sat across from Elliot, his orange jumpsuit a stark contrast to his once polished appearance. Why did you come? He asked, unable to meet my eyes. To deliver this personally. I slid divorce papers across the table. Final decree. You get nothing. I deserve that. He signed without argument. I heard about Phoenix Rising's success. Did you hear about Mom? I watched his reaction. She violated probation, joined Dad in prison last week. And Stella? Working as a waitress in Nevada. I leaned forward. Funny how karma works. The guard called time, but Elliot grabbed my wrist. I really did love you once. No, I pulled free. You loved my money. There's a difference. Outside, Francesca waited in the car. How'd it go? It's done. I watched the prison recede in the mirror. Take me to the event. Phoenix Rising's main hall was packed with women, survivors, supporters, success stories. Ingrid met us at the entrance. Ready for this? I stepped onto the stage, facing hundreds of determined faces. Welcome to Phoenix Rising's first annual Survivor Summit, I began. A year ago, I thought I was alone. My husband, sister, and parents had conspired to steal everything from me. But their betrayal sparked something unexpected. Movement at the back caught my eye. Stella slipping in, looking worn and humble. They thought they were destroying me, I continued. Instead, they inspired this. I gestured to the room. Every woman here has a similar story. Family members who stole inheritances, husbands who drained accounts, parents who betrayed trust. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. But look at us now. I pointed to the success wall. Photos of women reclaiming their lives, their assets, their power. 342 cases, over $400 million recovered, 17 criminal convictions. Francesca joined me on stage. And today, we announce our biggest initiative yet, a nationwide legal defense network, pro bono representation for every woman fighting financial abuse. Applause erupted. In the back, Stella wiped her eyes. But numbers don't tell the real story, I continued. Maria, stand up. A woman rose. My brother stole my inheritance. Phoenix Rising helped me take back control. Rebecca? Another stood. My husband drained our accounts. Now I own his company. One by one, women shared their victories, each story a phoenix rising from betrayal's ashes. After the speeches, Stella approached. Can we talk? Why are you here? I saw the news coverage. She looked around the hall. All these women, you built something amazing from what we did to you. No thanks to you. I know. She pulled out a crumpled check. It's not much, but it's everything I've saved waitressing, the first payment toward what I stole. Keep it. I turned away. Please, Scarlett, I'm trying to make amends. Want to make amends? I faced her. There's a woman in Houston. Her sister stole her business. Help her fight back. Show me you've changed through actions, not words. Her eyes lit with hope. You'd give me that chance? Phoenix Rising believes in transformation, even for those who caused the fire. Later, in my office overlooking the city, Francesca brought coffee. Stella seemed sincere. We'll see. I checked my messages. Another success story. Another woman reclaiming her power. Either way, we keep building. Speaking of building, Ingrid entered with blueprints. The new Chicago office is ready, right next door to Elliot's old corporate headquarters. Perfect. I smiled at the irony. How's the class action suit? Growing. Margaret's evidence opened floodgates. Dozens of families coming forward about similar schemes. My phone buzzed. A text from prison. Mom's asking to see you. Not yet, I whispered, declining the visit request. You know what's ironic? Francesca said. They thought stealing your money would make them powerful. Instead, it made you unstoppable. A knock interrupted us. A new client, clutching documents, eyes fierce with determination. Welcome to Phoenix Rising, I said, gesturing her in. Tell us your story. As she began speaking, I caught my reflection in the window. Stronger, wiser, more powerful than my betrayers ever imagined. They tried to break me, but instead, they forged me into something unbreakable. And in that unbreakable strength, thousands of other women found their own wings to rise.